Go. Oh.
Gosh.
Right, so my first point of what a shit show is the changing of people. Because we had Tiny Tom and Cameron.
Yeah.
Then we had Kenzie and Cameron.
Yeah.
Then we had no Cameron. The
Yeah.
Cameron thing Matt can't help. But the Tiny Tom and Kenzie thing, no.
No.
I just think Tom had already learned like half of our stuff,
Yeah.
half of our blocking, to then get him ripped away, then we had to teach Kenzie it, and I just think that pulled us back from being able to learn
Yeah.
our
Because it
things
already
properly.
blocked things in regards to Tom's ability and what Tom can do.
Exactly.
Then changing it to implement Kenzie, who
Has
can do different
skills.
things than Tom,
Yeah. And it's like
was a
also,
struggle.
it wasn't fair on the legacies either, because the legacies has already accounted for 6 people. They didn't
Yeah.
need a 7th. They were perfectly fine. Summer was already ready to do all the chorus herself. It just ended up being fucked. If he was really that worried about your ability and what you could do, he could have put you in the judges.
In a sense.
In a sense, you know what I mean? Or put you like in the traditionals. You know, a group that needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then instead of fucking about
Yeah.
the 2
With
groups
who had already
Who had
lost
already-
half of their stuff.
and had already been fucked about
Yeah.
by other people.
I mean, I'm just going to put it out there. I did ask if we could keep it the same, and he said no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we're
I
saying.
did
Like,
try
Yeah, no, we're
to
not
keep
blaming
it
you
the same.
at all.
Yeah,
No, we're not blaming
I'm
you.
just saying I
Yeah.
did try to keep it the
Yeah.
same. He said no.
Other questions, I can't remember what the other
Oh,
ones were.
sorry.
Remember.
I'm gonna pull up a slide. From early choreography to workshop rehearsal. The early stages was basically, I think, wasted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We sat down and talked, but it would have been loads better if we'd have just gone through the script as a full company.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more
Rather
times.
than-
Because
yeah.
then we'd understand it more and understand our characters a bit
Yeah.
more than.
And we
Going
were learning
straight
things
into-
that I understand as we go along, the script changes and stuff, but the amount it has changed
Yeah.
was
We
ridiculous.
also didn't have characters yet for when we started doing big numbers. So we'd been blocked in places that didn't make sense for the characters that we then got.
Yeah.
Can I say something? Right, one thing that always confused me every single time that I watched the show was you being in Sideways.
Thank you!
Every single time I watched it, I'm like, why are you there?
Because
Because
I'm
you
supposed
asked
to
me
dance
about
and
it.
then look at sideways, but it looks like I don't know the dance. I'm trying to get it from them, and it does my head in because I'm supposed to be coaching, but why am I there?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Real.
Go on.
And then you joining in with them. It's- Sorry.
I would like to say I would have much preferred to do it how we did last year when we sat down
Oh,
in that
yeah.
circle
That was
and
so
we
much
ran it
easier.
until our brains were full of
Yeah.
this Disney bollocks brain rot, because that made it so much easier when we got up and we did shit in front of that projector and used that as thing, because we already basically knew our lines
Yeah.
and we only looked at it in case we forgot. And then it also made it easier for characterisation because we didn't have to worry about whether we knew our
And
lines.
when I did my first one, we didn't get the cast list yet, but we got character briefs of what he wanted for that character.
and we
then we'd
literally-
expand, and then we got the cast list 2 days after that. But this, I feel like we got the cast list way too late. We already
Yeah.
know who was going to be who, apart from a few.
It's like we started group numbers. Caroline didn't even know who was cast as what, and it just didn't make sense for some of the numbers that we did.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Footloose and 5, 6, 7, 8. It didn't make sense for where we were in positions for that when we were eventually characters.
So then we had to swap the blocking round to associate them characters thingy. So it's like we wasted time learning certain blocking to then get switched for it to fit
Yeah.
for the characters. But if we'd have just
Yeah.
got that out of the way, the cast list,
Yeah.
everyone could have had the breakdowns a lot earlier, and then the blocking could have been done once instead of like 7 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next question.
Which ways worked?
None of it.
I can't think of any.
I don't understand
No.
what he means by that.
Like what?
Running the
Like-
script once doesn't go. That worked.
I wouldn't say anything worked because every time we thought it worked, it didn't work for Matt.
And another thing,
Yeah.
if we're going to workshop it, there's no point making us spend weeks and weeks workshopping it when it gets changed
Anyway,
by
yeah.
Matt and Caroline anyway.
Yeah, if you want us to workshop it, let us workshop it,
And let
and
it
then
stay.
tell us little things that we could change
Yeah.
or make it better. Don't say, right, I get that you've workshopped this for the past 5 weeks. Yeah, that's out the window.
It's like
shit.
it's like we spent so long on doing country things
And Rainbow.
and Rainbow just
For it to get
then-
cut.
And
And we could've spent time on the little-
Matt knew that he was going to cut Rainbow as
Yeah,
soon
but
as he
then
didn't
why
like the blocking, and then kept it for like 2 more weeks. Let us struggle with blocking it, singing it.
Had us
just for then-
stressing, using all this time that we could have used on other things.
And we spent
Yeah.
loads of times with Matt with Rainbow, where we could have
Yeah.
used that for some days, play on and do a rodeo.
Yeah. Next.
What you might do differently personally and as a group, everything.
Yeah.
I've changed the whole script because all the mini plots overtook what the whole main plot was. Then because of all the mini plots we've spent time on, the main plot now didn't make sense and was lost in focus and just
Yeah.
I'd also like evenly distribute the time instead of giving other groups more attention and then going, oh well, why aren't you as good as this group?
Yeah, it's like
because we don't have enough time
And
with
we
you.
like
had one
our
point in
group-
the scene where all we did was, we're off to nationals, great, and go off.
Yeah.
it's like our group, we hardly got any attention, and I feel like other groups that were struggling at the beginning got so much attention all the way through, and then we got kind of, oh, do it once with Matt, and Matt goes, oh, you need to learn your lines, go learn your lines, and then that was it. And then by the end, we'd finally actually done blocking with Matt.
Or it's like groups that didn't even need the extra attention, got it anyway.
Yeah.
And like some people struggle, like I do, learning lines
I
in set blocks. I prefer learning lines as a group so I know the timing
Yeah.
in my head of the process of it all.
That's the thing as well. When you did your first run or your staggers, you didn't know what scene was next. And I
Next.
feel like that just proved that you needed to run the lines
With everyone.
Yeah.
with everyone a lot more.
Yeah,
Because
because
don't know the
I-
flow of the
We
show.
were looking at our phones to see which scene. Even during the show, we kept checking and checking.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, yeah.
Let's have a look.
But then me and Elle, even like by the Friday show, we'd still go and check the list of what was next.
Yeah, like me and Kenzie were always checking it.
Because we were just overstressing whether we were going to go on at the wrong point because we didn't have enough time to be able to solidify in our heads, right, this is this and then it's
It's like
this.
I almost went on after the traditionals, which was the jiu-jitsu, and I was like, oh
Yeah.
crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just know it with judges traditionals when we went on.
Yeah.
After judges, after traditionals.
And I think the hats, right, this is a prop thing, the hats were a good idea in theory. In
Horrible.
practical terms.
You couldn't see anyone's faces.
Exactly.
Especially during mine and Amy's scene, even I couldn't see her
Like
face.
no matter how hard you push the hat,
It's gonna
it's
fall
gonna
off.
either
I
fall off
spent
or you
most
can't
of my
see.
time up there telling people to
Yeah.
bloody put the hats back
Yeah.
Yeah.
so they could just at least be
And
seen.
also, it was annoying because originally, like our group, we didn't have to wear cowboy hats. It was literally you and Neve.
Yeah.
And then it got to the show, and Matt was like, "Oh, I want you all in cowboy hats," and I was like, "Where do you think I'm getting this cowboy hat from?"
Yeah.
So it was
You're
just,
lucky I ordered
yeah.
two.
like that was the thing. Like he said, we were meant to be different,
Yeah, no,
Well,
the
and
first
then
I was to
dressed
wear
as the
whatever they
exact
want.
same.
and then dressed us the same as everyone.
Yeah.
And then I was told I should wear my jacket for 5, 6, 7, 8 because I'm still part of the Legacies then. But then that completely got scrapped because the Legacies weren't wearing jackets.
But then you just look like a random guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it 5, 6, 7, 8 fucks me over because why were me, Yaz, and Kenzie in that bit?
It should have been blocked to the group.
Yeah.
The dances in
It's
5, 6,
Like,
and
I
8.
shouldn't have danced with Elle. I should have been
You
with the
should
Legacies for the
have
start.
danced with the legacies. The legacies
It's 'cause-
should have been the
It's
legacies.
because they wanted originally, obviously, us to be in the legacies, but when it got cast, obviously, it changed, but then the dance didn't change.
They did it based on danceability.
Yeah.
And I'm not being
Yeah.
funny, if you're going to switch people who can dance and can't dance out and in of groups,
Yeah.
then it's
Yeah.
just going to confuse the audience because they've got this idea of who the freestylers are and the
Exactly.
traditionals and everything.
But then,
But then where's Judge Anton?
during, and then during the scenes, they're like, oh, who are you? Oh, I'm Quinn. Well, yeah, no, I met you. I was dancing next to you earlier.
Yeah.
And then, like, when we did the Mega Mix, I think that I should have been it should have been like the reprise 5, 6, 7, 8, where I moved to the front.
Yeah.
Because I've just had a whole character act to be like, oh no, it's fine, we're going to do it anyway, Amy, you know, we're together now, we're all teammates. And then I'm pushed up fucking back.
You should have been in your groups during the last 5.
Yeah.
Like, you should have been in your groups anyway for 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, but because that number got done first, it was just
Before
like,
the cast list.
My biggest problem was the rainbow scene. Because the rainbow got taken, the whole scene could have got cut because he jumbled up all the lines and
Yeah.
There was no point in
Like, play on could have been then instead.
Yeah.
Yes.
there was no point in that scene. It could have been you coming on and being like, Joe,
Yeah.
you're fine, you've got this,
Yeah.
instead of all of
Like
us
that would
coming
have been
on.
such a cute
It would have
moment.
been so much nicer if it was me going and finding
Yeah.
him, sorting him out, making sure he's okay. Then
It
I have my
didn't-
song, and then you guys
'Cause
come
it
in
literally
and you
could have
show
been-
your support
Yeah,
around us.
Yeah.
it didn't make sense for Play-On to be there, and it didn't make sense for the Rainbow Scene to still be there.
And it was literally like, it should have been, Jordan, Joe, no, Mel, look, I've done, and then it could have worked. But our scenes literally went full company, Dear Rodeo, then 2 of the other scenes, then it went Sundays and Play-On of our scenes. That's all our musical numbers done.
We literally had 3 numbers in a row.
Yeah.
I feel like as well, because they were, I've said this before, but because all of your songs were so early, they were forgotten about
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
the end.
We
It's
were
like
literally on the
it's like
shadows.
my family. They only remembered the last half of the show. They
Like-
didn't remember anything from the
You
beginning.
always remember the last half of the show more, but like Dear Rodeo, Play On,
Yeah,
Sundays,
there were such good
they were
songs.
all, they should have been remembered, but
Yeah.
they couldn't have been because so much of it
And
came
then it's like the
after.
legacies. They had number after number in all one scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And
also, it was so much easier to remember them because they were so flashy.
Yeah.
And there was
We
on every
should have
other
been
scene.
As that flashy.
We should have
We're
been.
the freestylers.
Yeah. It's like we got told, oh, you're not allowed to really dance because you're not dancers, you're freestylers. And I was like, yeah, but freestylers can still dance.
And then I think
In
Dear
just a different
Rodeo
way.
should have been right near the end when you guys are telling me to get the disguise on. Because
Yeah.
I'm conflicted. I don't know if to go back.
In your
I think
moustache singing Dear
No,
Rodeo.
without before we get it on.
Sorry.
And then obviously it's like they've won. I've now thinking it, but at the start,
Yeah.
like Dear Rodeo, I tried like hell to tell myself.
But you
it
don't
was my
know
fault.
why at the plot at that point. 'Cause
Yeah.
You haven't had that conversation
Yeah.
with Elle
Yeah.
talking about why you don't want to do it.
and that comes
Yeah.
later. So it's like
Yeah.
I'll sing to you now and
Like
explain it
should,
later.
instead of Play On, it should have been Dear Rodeo,
Yeah.
and then Play On should have been later.
Yeah.
What time is it, Nick?
Right.
18.
How the progress might be adapted generally.
Well, we've already spoke
Yeah,
about
we've
that,
done
really.
Most successful moments from us as a group.
I think just working together and finally getting our scenes to actually
Yeah.
become scenes.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like at first we were kind of all over the place, but eventually we kind of all came together and it worked.
Well, yeah,
I
when I
think-
came down and saw you all, you were always trying to
something.
work together.
Yeah,
I do honestly think that our main setback was the switching of people.
Yeah.
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 Because
That's
we'd done
what
so
halted
much
progress at the beginning.
with someone else, then we had to like redo it and then redo it. And I just think that was probably.
How might the show be developed for the future?
We've already spoken
Yeah,
about that
we've done
one.
that.
Yeah.
Production values.
More time.
More time to focus on.
A longer,
Values, set, costumes, lights, things like that. Everything
a longer tech period.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Somewhat more flashy for the freestylers.
Better mics.
Yeah.
yeah.
Bloody
I
mics.
think working with like lighting with the hats as well. Like if
Yeah.
we had better lighting, like up lighting maybe at least.
Have more
So you could
time to do
see
tech. Like more days to do tech instead of just
Yeah.
doing one before the show and then going into the show.
Yeah.
Blocking the numbers with the seats out because Footloose, there was a clipboard there which I always had to boot out the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah,
And
Skylar's
then I was
bag out
inside the
sometimes.
audience.
book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. Character arcs.
No, we finished those.
Ah, we're finished. Okay, bye.